Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI F1.5 EU Championship. We're today for the Singapore Grand Prix. We are, 30 minutes left on the clock? No, 12? A little bit too late. Sorry for the delay, everyone. We're finally here. This is Vale, currently tops the times at 38.2. Gilly, 39.2. Quite a big gap between them, almost a second. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of evolution on the lap times, I am sure. We'll have to see how it goes, though. We are missing Tafari, unfortunately, but maybe we'll see them later on if they can get in time. But yeah, it is what it is. Zingy, you're pretty good around this circuit. It's not the wet conditions, however. Tyre-wise, or as JJ makes a bit of a mistake, tyre-wise, I'm not going to ask what the strategy is because it's pretty obvious, but soft tyre, would it be usable at a circuit like this?
Well, the soft tyre, it's quite... It's soft, that's obvious. It's quite fast, however, for about 3 laps. Remember, Singapore, 1 minute 40 you guys are going to really be setting in the race condition. That's 1 minute 40 on a soft tyre, so 5 minutes driving down that soft tyre is really going to burn it up. And around a track that requires so much grip to get around, that soft tyre is just going to burn up easily, and it's also just going to wear out. So you're going to be down to nothing by the 4th, 5th lap. So softs might not be the way to go. But if you're struggling for tyre wear or really pace on older tyres, it might be worth doing 2 medium stints if you've got the pace to do so.
I do know that on the recommended strategy, it does say that a medium soft is only about 2 seconds slower than a hard medium. So it could be a viable option. Track position wise, no, but if everything went your way, then maybe you might have a nice opportunity. We're still on board with JJ. In the meantime, Robbo's gone on set at 38.5, a little bit behind this is Vale, but not too much to worry about. This is Vale is in the pit lane waiting to go out again, so they're kind of offset from one another. JJ goes on set to 39.9. Finally, as I finally managed to get my words out there. Nifo-chan, reserve driver today, of course, high tier driver along with Heischler. And then we have no reserve drivers other than that. Benjamin has an LSI next to their name. That's a mistake. It should be an EU next to their name, so I do apologise for that little bug. Unfortunately, nothing we can do about it now. Cohen, he's currently in P8, not set a lap time, goes purple in the middle sector. He should be pretty good around this circuit. I know he is not too bad pace-wise, so can he now go for a win on his return? He had a DNS last week, of course, but could it be a second consecutive win as long as he starts the race? Do you think he might have a go at it, Zingy?
Well, you can see through these last few corners, able to hook up brilliantly as Benjamin sets pole position, going around the final corner, however, he's used all his ER for the lap. It's an absolutely amazing time. It's 1.1 seconds faster. Cohen with a 37.9. That's absolutely incredible. I knew it by the lap time that it was going to be pulled by quite a bit, but I never expected 1.1 seconds to come out of that Williams. That is... wow. Cohen setting the pace quite early on, like he usually does, and everyone's going to have to catch up again. I would say it's that track evolution, but Ben was just set his lap there, so what is that?
Skill, maybe. This is Vale. I'm wondering, they have decided to use pretty low downforce in the past. Have they tried to do it again, and is it going to actually work? Cohen currently leading, and if he's on pole position, his starts are pretty good, so he'll have a very nice advantage as long as he doesn't make a mistake off the line. Then he'll be able to get a pretty clean turn 1, and that could be him running off into the distance. Safety cars are always a possibility, especially around this circuit, but time will tell. Robbo, Vale, both on their way out to try and catch up to Cohen. We have Rexty, who just recently set a lap time. That puts them up to 5th. We've got Gilly on a lap. He's going to try and set an improvement here. What can he do? He got 2 podiums in a row, I think. That's 2 P2s in a row for Gilly. Can he keep up that streak?
Gilly is a very accomplished driver. I mean, he's got multiple podiums, multiple wins. He's not won a championship, surprisingly. He's a very, very skillful driver whenever he's given the right setup and he puts some into practice in. He'll probably give you a good result, a couple of podiums, a couple of wins, as I said. So, can he keep this form up? Probably. This is a track that is actually very good for wheel users. Controller users do tend to struggle a little bit, however, it's quite good on traction. Although you can see coming through the middle, oh, never mind, as it goes a bit wide, but he's able to just be really smooth on the inputs and just being able to be so precise on that wheel, pointing the car where you want it to go. Around this corner in Sector 3, before this bit will get eradicated actually. I'm guessing you know that.
Yeah.
This won't be a thing anymore. So these corners, thankfully, for the love of everything, man, it's dreadful. But back on top of Gilly, yeah, he's got every reason to keep on going. He's not had anything that's really set him back. He's just been quite consistent with it these last few races, and coming through the final corner, that might prove that. This lap's not looked too bad, coming across the line, and it's P4. That's what I'm saying, he's coming around the final corner to set P4, and then that's like a place you want to... Oh, it goes a bit wide. That's a place you want to be. P4 is probably, well, not the best, but... I don't know, it's hard to explain. He's just always there, I think. Right way to put it.
Consistency, you can pick up the pieces. Now, we've got this as well in P3 at the moment. I can't remember what position starts on the inside and the outside. Is it pole starts on the outside, if I'm correct? No?
Yes.
Pole. So the odd numbers start on the outside. P4 isn't really, I'd say, where you want to be, but you still might be able to filter through if you can get a pretty good start to the cars behind you, of course. This is Vale currently sitting in P3. They're going for an improvement lap into the hairpin, taking a very, very wide entry. On the throttle they go. DRS, of course, as well. And then through the next few corners, unfortunately, I've decided to go and forget all of the corner numbers. So that is going to be that one done. There is 15 corners around this circuit, I do know, so I'll calculate them throughout the race and try and get them to you. But this is Vale is going under the tunnel. That's something that I do know. This is Vale will go through the next few corners. I'm not going to say their name again because a nice bit of repetition is not what you want to hear. Now, at the final corner, is it going to be an improvement? Is it going to be front row? Is it going to be pole position? No, it's not. 37.2, very, very, very close there. So that is going to definitely make things very, very interesting. Robbo comes around the final corner to set an improvement lap, and that is P3. Still a long way to the top two, a long way.
Yeah, these two are just pulling away. It must be just one of the tracks that these guys are good at. I mean, I could say that about Cohen, but Cohen's good everywhere. He's very good at qualifying, but he has been a bit unlucky, hasn't he, over these last few races, especially with that puncture in Japan. But would you like me to take for you through this lap of corner?
Yes, please.
Alright, coming through the first turn 1, 2, 3 section, you just want to hold it in fourth. Third gear Cohen goes into it. He does get good traction though. So coming into turn 4 now, you want to go real wide and then come back in and swoop the car in, get in the power as early as you can on exit, and now coming onto the straight. It's not too difficult, just a little kink you need to watch out for. And into the first sector, it's 800s up. You want to ride the curb here, extend track limits as much as you can without invalidating. Now the really sluggish, slow corners, you need to be patient on the traction. He's gone for it now, and he's got some very nice traction once again. And coming out of this corner, the ball creeps up on you very, very quickly, but he manages to keep it out and will really just get close to the barrier as he possibly can. Now this is the newer section of the track, which I'm not too happy about. I'll miss the Singapore line, I don't believe it's much better. Coming through the hairpin now, he manages to hook the car up, traction lovely, and that is incredible. He manages to just keep it in a straight line without any hassle. Coming through the middle sector now, he's 3.6 seconds, tenths up, sorry, and he's flying at the moment. This is looking like an unstoppable lap. Cohen now rides the car a bit there. I wouldn't have done that, but he seemed to have gone around the corner quickly, so I'm not going to discourage him from that. Going under the bridge now, it's very difficult to keep your traction down here. The car can lose itself with the overheating tyres on the softs. Remember, they are quite soft compared to usual tracks, so they will overheat. The ERS will be used, so you can't use it out of the final corner. But coming up to the line now, it's a 36.6, 5/10 of improvement, and he's, what, 6/10 ahead of Robbo.
Yeah.
No, not Robbo, this is Vale.
Maybe track evolution, but that is quite an improvement. So yeah, this is Vale's got a lot of pressure on. Ben, in the meantime, goes and gets a 37.1, so would have pushed himself up close to Cohen if Cohen hadn't set that lap then, but it is what it is. What I was trying to say was, I do apologise. It's 23 corners. Don't know where I got the number 15 from. So I've just counted all the corners and I should be good to go now. So let's see what we can find. This is fell into the pit lane. Cohen, I don't think he's going to get another lap in because he's going to have to spend quite a lot of time to get to the pit lane. Gilly, for the first time in a while, is still out on the circuit towards the final stage of qualifying. Will they be able to use that extra grip that you get towards the end of the session and push themselves up even further, maybe beat their teammate today?
Well, Gilly, for the first time, is actually doing a qualifying session, as you said, at the end of the session, which will obviously benefit him. And we just need to see how he does, because he can really set good qualifying laps. It's just the issue that he never tends to go out. He always likes to play conservatively, get the lap in early. And I think that goes back to this little psychological thinking of, if I set a lap early and it's quite good, then I can retire and not worry about it. Maybe that's why he does it, because he doesn't want to have that stress of going at the last minute and then actually having to perform like the best lap of your life. So what he does is, I'm sure of it anyway, is he sets an okay lap and then he sets his good lap. However, it doesn't really benefit him as much as we would have thought, because obviously the track evolution, as Cohen retires, he can't get another lap in, and you know, it's really hampered him this season. When he sets laps at the end of the session, like he's doing now, it could be beneficial, although there's a red bolt of Larlock that's in the way, which hopefully moves across to the side, and he does. Coming through the middle sector now, we're going to see what Gilly's sector time is. It's 4 tenths up, that'll push him up to P3, so P4, sorry, so looking on course for a nice little P4 starting position at the moment, but he needs to hook up this last sector, which is very, very technical, very tricky on the tires, as I said before. Under the bridge now, this is one of the toughest places. You can crash there, and he nearly does. He nearly scrapes the wall, but he keeps it just out of the wall, using the tractors as going to the track limit, I should say, sorry, and coming out of the ultimate corner now. This is the last corner. You want to really push it. He does so nicely up to the line, and he's P4. That's not a bad lap time at all.
Very, very, very nice stuff. We could see things switch up. This is Vale is on a lap. Actually, is Robbo about to cross the line, or are they starting them? I'm not quite sure. Dave Raptor's going to get his only lap in the session to try and push himself up the order. And yeah, he has dropped back in the standings, unfortunately, after quite a few non-race starts, which honestly I would have thought he might have had a chance at fighting for the championship, but never mind. I guess it's going to be pretty difficult. We're already at the halfway mark of the season, of course. This is Vale is going through the technical part of the circuit, through the hairpin, smooth on the throttle, and they were pretty good back in Japan, we saw, so this should be a strong part of the circuit for them. And onto the throttle once again over that little curb. You've got to be really careful with that, and the track limits can also catch you out. Now riding the curbs here, is he going to ride the curbs? He's not. No, he will. That's a lag. Tap on the wall, unfortunately. Yeah, he's being a little bit conservative on the curbs, to be honest, I will say, but maybe he's done a decent lap and he doesn't want to ruin it. But I think that bit of contact on the wall will lose him a lot of time around the final corner. What's it going to be for this is Vale? It's going to be a P2, but it's not going to be enough for pole position. 1/10 away in the end. Robbo has got a couple corners. We do have Dave Raptors right behind him as well. That is Gilly, who will not set another lap time because they've already done that one. Larlock, he's about to come around the final few corners. What's he going to do? Can he push himself up maybe to the top 5? For Larlock, it's not going to be an improvement, unfortunately. Robbo, round the final corner. Here we go. And it's going to be a P4. Gets himself ahead. And Dave Raptors immediately demotes him. P4 for Dave Raptors. He's got pace. He just didn't turn up. And unfortunately, he's very, very, very far away after that.
Yeah, Robbo set a purple first sector, but then he tapped the wall in the middle sector. It was the last sector, sorry. He tapped it just before the bridge. And I think he may have had a bit of input damage, and that's what really cost him. So he could have been much higher, but P5 for Robbo isn't too bad. But it could have been so much more.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a good point. Cohen takes pole position. This is Vale in P2, Benjamin in P3. Brilliant job for him. That is the rest of the grid. We're going to skim through the race director just in case later on. And then we'll see you in a minute for the race. Ready, hold, go! Who's gonna get it into turn one? A pretty quick launch, and this is Vale is gonna take the lead in the Grand Prix. And that's the Alpine on the inside. Benjamin getting swallowed up there, trying to fight back. There's the other Alpine, unfortunately, off. The other Ferrari making brilliant progress side by side. Once again, they carry on, but Benjamin will manage to get ahead. That is Gilly and Robbo side by side. Gilly gets the... no, they don't. They drop back, and they're actually going to lose out a little bit to Gibby, who's got a brilliant restart, but no, unfortunately not into the braking zone. Oh, that was a little bit, well, I don't know who was at fault there, so it can't really stay. Side by side, that is a bit of contact, unfortunately, with Heister as he goes a little bit too hot into the corner. Niffer Jam was right there. I don't know what happened, but that is the way that's gone. Switcheroo with Dave Raptors and Benjamin. He's trying to hold on. He's trying to get the inside line, just about riding the curb to get everything he can on the circuit. And that is going to be him up into the podium position. Right there, brilliant stuff. Benjamin, is he going to be able to come back? Was his exit good enough? Looks like he is going to have a look to the inside, but it's not enough. Robbo's going to be right there.
Yeah, Dave Raptor's got a nice little switchback on Benjamin there. Out of... oh no, Lawrence retired! Lawrence retired in the third sector. It's going to be a VSC. A VSC is going to be deployed. Lawrence on the medium tyre trying to make up positions. And he's already out of the race. I think Heischler also might have been involved in that accident, as he's a bit far behind. But oh, that's unfortunate for Lawrence. But yeah, going back to the Dave Raptor's point, he had Ben on the inside, on the outside, and then he was able to swoop around, not hitting the wall somehow. Nice hard fair racing between the two of them, which is what we love to see, and he managed to get onto P3. So your point saying Dave Raptors is fast when he's there, you're not wrong. That was an incredible move.
Yeah, fair enough. He's just got to make sure he doesn't get a puncture, that's all. This is Val Cohen. They've run away with it right at the start. So a brilliant job from them. This is Vale. What a launch that they got off the line, so fair enough to them. Dave Raptors, of course, making that move. Benjamin's going to be right behind, but he's in a bit of a sandwich, an Alpine sandwich. Robbo, he's equally in a Ferrari sandwich, so that's going to be interesting. Who will get the best restart under the VSC? That is something that you've always got to consider. You can gain a lot. You can gain probably about half a second if you play it right, but you could risk yourself getting a drive-through. You see the drivers slowing down all of a sudden and trying to build the speed back up again. You've got to time it right, get on the throttle just as the delta's going down. And that is going to be pretty safe restart from these guys right here on screen. That is a very wide moment for Robbo, as he's going to lose a little bit of time for that. But no worries at all for now. We've got a pretty close moment with Gibby and Nifo. Nifo going to just try and make a couple safe moves. And what's happened there?
Robbo and Benjamin. Benjamin lost the car out of the hairpin and coming into the really slow right-hander now. He's put in the wall, he's been put in the wall a little bit. Robbo and Benjamin, these guys are having such a rivalry this season. And coming into the chicane now, who's going to get it on top? Ben's got the momentum around the outside, he keeps it, but Robbo still there, but Benjamin cuts him off. That's brilliant defending from Ben, but he's lost so much time today for Raptors. There's a massive train forming behind him.
So difficult to overtake around here in Singapore, but now that's happened, Robbo split him away from the DRS range, so DRS is now enabled and he will have a bit of an easier overtake as long as he can pressurise it. He's got to really manage that ERS though, because it's pretty much impossible to gain it back. You're going to have to spend a long time trying to catch back up. If you do use it a little bit too recklessly, Benjamin's going to have to try very, very hard to defend in a straight line, as Robbo will find it his best opportunity to make a move. That's if he can get it done in the braking zone, though, because it's so difficult with the chunky curves as well. You can put yourself in a lot of trouble. Robbo is going to be challenging a little bit, but he's not close enough, and he's going to have to wait. That is a brilliant moment there for Benjamin, as Robbo has used possibly a little bit of energy to try and get that gap down, but he stays ahead.
Yeah, Robbo using his battery to get that gap down with the DRS enabled. He flies. Oh no, what's happened? Something's happened further back. I think between JJ, Gibby and Nifo. I'm not sure what happened there, but JJ's making the moves up into P7, so he's not doing too bad at the moment, but his low down force ways aren't really going to do well around here, I don't think, but he's got the potential to do well. He's making his way up the order so far, so.
I was going to say, regardless, JJ's made a couple positions. Nifo's still right there, but they don't really want to make a position just yet. It's so difficult, especially as a higher tier driver. You don't want to risk the other guy's races and the circuit. It's difficult to overtake anyway, so trying to make a safe overtake is going to lose you so much time, and it's almost impossible. Now, Zingy, what would be the ideal gap that you'd have to have between you and the car behind to be safe from an overtake? 6 tenths?
Ooh, well, it depends. Say Robbo's using the DRS, Ben's not, and it's the DRS shit we're about to come up to. I'd say you want about a 5/10 gap. Right. Anything below that is very dangerous. Well, 5/10 is on the limit. I'd say you might be able to defend from higher 10. 6/10 is probably safer. So Robbo win 4/10 now. If he uses all his battery, like drains it all, he's going to catch up to Ben, and maybe I'm a bit wrong here, but no, you stopped using it just before the braking zone. So I think he realised that he's not going to make the move. But yeah, it's about 5/10 that gap needs to be. Ben's not, say, doing the fastest lap times and letting Dave Raptors pull away a little bit per lap, but he's doing enough to keep Robbo behind at the moment, and that's all he really needs to do, because he's on that hard tyre and he's just saving ERS for the moment. He's got so much more than Robbo. He's depleting it, trying to get past Ben, but at the moment, oh, Ben makes a bit of a mistake and coming into the hairpin now. Robbo squeezing him up into the wall. He's nearly in the wall. There's a bit of contact between the both of them. Robbo getting the DRS. Ben's going to use his ERS as much as he can to try the move on Robbo, and he sends it down the outside. There's a bit of contact and Robbo's hit the wall a little bit, and now he's going to be under pressure from the second Ferrari. Gilly coming into the chicane now, but he can't do anything about it. Ben defends. It was a bit of a clumsy interaction between the two of them, but Ben still manages to keep P4 for the moment. Wow, that was impressive. Yeah,
Robbo's going to be a little bit annoyed at that, and he might try and find a way through on a different corner. But yeah, that was a bit of a mistake. It could have been very, very costly. Just about done enough. To look at it later on, but Gilly might have an opportunity at some point. Don't know if damage would have been dealt there. It was a bit of a hit, but you can sometimes get away with it in this game.
Robbo's round.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Interesting rejoin to the circuit, but makes a mistake, and he's now going to have to try and make his way past a couple more cars to get back to where he was. In the meantime, Cohen has also got himself a time penalty, which is going to screw him up a little bit later on if he makes a move.
Yeah, Niffle moving up ahead of JJ into P6, but he's went a bit wide. JJ might get the switch back here. Coming into the slow left, right, left complex, but no, Niffle defends very well. Niffle just try to keep it nice and clean, remember, he is an F1 driver, although he didn't participate yesterday, unfortunately, so he's filling in today and he's doing a good job at the moment. He's moved up into P6. Gilly is his next target, and the Ferraris are running well at the moment, P4 and 5 for the both of them. They're just trying to keep it under control like they have been within the last few laps. That Alpine sandwich has really just turned into what would you call it? Not a Ferrari sandwich, but a Ferrari double attack, let's just say. Pressurising Robbo into making that mistake. A bit of contact was made beforehand, but that's what can happen sometimes when you've got the threat of two teammates attacking you both at once. It can be quite scary.
Yeah, it's not easy. Is what it is for now, unfortunately. Nifo made that move, then had a very, very twitchy moment, but they managed to escape once again. They have run out of DRS, so it's not going to be easy for them to push out of DRS range, although they are already out of DRS range. Robbo's right there, he's looking very, very quick. Almost had a look at JJ a moment ago. He's going to have to really use this energy wisely, because it looks like he's got one opportunity, energy-wise, to go for an overtake. So if he can spot it, then he'll have to push for it now. And I would say there's a long way to go, but a big gap to the cars ahead. If he wants to try and challenge those guys later on, he needs to get this done now. ERS is being used. He's pushing for it. He is going to go for this overtake. Full send on the energy to the outside line. JJ right there. Still has that inside line. And he's just about keeping it around the outside on the curb. And that is the move done. Brilliant overtaking there.
No, JJ's going to go for it again. Oh, he gets squeezed onto the curb, so you don't want to be riding that. And Robbo smartly pushes him onto the curb, but forces him to the inside. It rides the curb, and now Robbo is back up into P7. So the recovery's back on. He still needs to gain about 4 or 5 seconds to get back up to that pack, but with the pace he's demonstrating at the moment in clean air, he seems to be doing really quite lap times. So maybe later on we'll be able to see him back in the fight with Benjamin.
Yeah, we'll see. Benjamin currently running with Gilly. They're in a bit of a more relaxed situation, of course. Watch that gap, 4.9 seconds between themselves and Dave Raptors. Robbo, he's made that move and he's going to try his best to catch up to the cars ahead. He's not got massively far to Gilly, but we're going to see them a little bit later on, of course, if there is some sort of change. Cohen, getting that bad start, then that 3 second, the momentum just seems to be dropping. This is Vale has found even more pace in the race compared to qualifying. So what would you say they've done with the setup to try and have an advantage in that way?
Well, maybe Cohen is running a bit more of a, not a qualifying setup I'd call it, but more of an aggressive style setup, to the point where maybe it's a bit too aggressive perhaps, where he's having to not catch the car, but just having to thread the throttle, just be a bit more smooth with it. And I think this is Vale maybe I set the car up more for a race style. So when he got in the power to start the race, that medium tyre, he knew that he was probably going to jump Cohen with the softer tyre. And with his race setup, he's pulled out 7.7 seconds in 7 laps. Well, 6 laps, sorry. It's the 7th lap. So it's absolutely incredible from this Vale at the moment. But remember, this race is only 7 laps old. It feels like it's halfway done already, honestly. This race is one of the longest on the calendar, so mistakes can happen at any time, ranging from the first to the last lap, as we demonstrated yesterday. So, yeah, it's still a long way to go. There's no way you can roll out corners. Who's that going for a spin? It's JJ on next on the hairpin.
You say about it's a long race. If you do make mistakes, you are going to be in the wall. It's very easy to do so. And at the moment, with no safety cars, you don't really have a chance to relax. So it is going to be extremely difficult to keep going, but I'm sure these guys can do it. In the meantime, Dave Raptors has managed to get that gap to 5.7 seconds as Ben makes a bit of a mistake. It was about 5.3, so Dave Raptors did gain about 4/10 within a couple of laps to Benjamin, but Gilly now is looking at DRS to their teammate. They might want to have a go on a move because Nifojan is right behind, and then later on Robbo might catch up if these guys do fight. Nivo wants to go for a move. They will have to make sure that they calculate how much or for how long they stay ahead, because if they fight Nivo, they're going to lose time, and that Alpine's going to catch up.
Why don't? Because I know the Ferraris are together in a voice chat. I'm sure they are. They're going to communicate and say, why don't we let Nivo go? Nivo can drag us along for a few laps before he breaks DRS, right? He'll be able to catch up to Dave Raptors a little bit and save ERS. So what is the cons of letting Nivo go, honestly?
Nothing. Also, on the other hand, it's very, very difficult to overtake, especially a DRS train. So, if Ben and Gilly were just able to keep consistent, then they've got a car behind them, and then the current tier driver of Robbo behind them. So that would be another strategy. They've got two ways they can play this. It really depends on how quick Nivo is, I would say. He still has to make sure that he tries to tackle this double DRS train, which isn't going to be easy. That's also regarding that Gilly can keep with Ben. Ben made that little mistake, and he's now extending that gap once again, and I think DRS might actually be lost.
Yeah, Gilly's 1.1 seconds behind. He's not got it. He has not got the DRS, I don't believe. The detection point was where? I don't know, but he's running very wide, and he's not got the DRS. Nivo does, though, and there's Robbo in the background of the cinematic camera. You can see it. He's lurking close behind, 3.7 the gap. Robbo is not done with these Ferraris just yet. He might have had that spin earlier on, but that one thing's for certain, he's wanting to get to the back of these guys, and he's doing a hell of a good job of it at the moment, considering the circumstances he's been put under.
Yeah, Nivo, he's not going to be close enough to make a move, so he'll have to wait a little bit longer, but he does spot the opportunity, and he'll try and get it done as soon as he can to reduce any kind of impact. In this race, of course, we have Robbo, who has gained about 2/10 in the couple of corners. Obviously Nivo will seem to be a little bit quicker than Robbo, but now he's got a couple of cars ahead, and he seems to be gaining that gap a little bit. We'll have to see how it goes later on. Time will tell, of course. Other guys pretty much spread out, not really massive gaps between the rest of the field. It's an endurance race, and you know, you'd say, oh, it's easy, there's no pressure behind or in front. Well, endurance races like these can be very, very difficult, because if you have no pressure, you'll then tend to lose a little bit of focus. So if you have a car right next to you, you can focus on them, and it would be easier to probably stay somewhat consistent. That's just my way of thinking about it. So yeah, this is Vale Cohen. They have an advantage at the moment, but they can't get too comfortable.
Yeah, speaking of, Nivo maybe got a bit too comfortable there, just chilling behind Gilly, and he lost the back end, and the gap's in the dot to 7 tenths, I should say, and he just can't find a way past. He knows he's quicker, he needs to find a way past somehow, but it's, yeah, look, again, car snapped. I think, do you know what I think's happened actually? I think he's copied a time trial setup, right? And he's got really low front pressures and really high rear pressures, and he's forgot to alter them, because he's losing the car absolutely everywhere, and this is not the Nivo I know. Nivo likes to run the really, really stable setups, and for him to just go into a corner and be really slow and snappy, this isn't him. So I don't know what's going on with him, but he needs to sort it out.
Interesting. I mean, in the past, we've known him for being very aggressive on the gears, which caused him to lose the rear tyres, or the rear of the car, a lot. Not in recent times. He has changed the way he drives the car, which has given him a nice advantage, but you are right, he is losing the rear a lot, not only throughout this lap, but just throughout the race itself. The other way around, I should have said that, but you know what I mean. Robbo is catching up to these guys quite nicely at the moment. Nothing he can do. Benjamin is catching up quite nicely to Dave Raptors. Dave Raptors not able to get to Cohen anytime soon, but 4.8 seconds now is the gap. Benjamin has a lot of pace in that car.
Yeah, Ben seems to have discovered like a second burst of energy, and he's going for it. Ever since Robbo stopped harassing him, really, he's managed to find a second wind on these tyres, and he's managed to just focus, knuckle down and push towards the Raptors. The gap's coming down slowly, and he's still got a long way to go, so if that gap keeps on coming down bit by bit each lap, he will catch up eventually, and potentially maybe an undercut might trigger him to of course, well, he might trigger himself to do an undercut, which might help with the gap, because remember, the tyres, I think I've said it quite a lot, that medium tyres, even when they're a bit colder, are so much quicker than 15, 16 lap old cars. I would hate to be the person who's getting undercutted. So, yeah, Dave Raptor's actually lost the back end a bit there as I was looking at him, but for the most part, it looks as though he's keeping the car under control, and he's actually pulled away a little bit from Benjamin, so it's a yo-yo effect, basically, so it's going to be really tricky for him to catch up, but if once he gets that car hooked up like he does around some of these corners here, he seems to be not doing too bad, so it's tricky for sure, but as he goes a bit, Benjamin goes a bit wide, but that's this race for you. It's really just mentally draining. As Ben loses the back end under the Anderson Bridge, so you can just see how much he's pushing, he's trying his best, but Dave Raptors is just keeping nice and smooth, and that's what's keeping him ahead for them.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from him at the moment. Nifajan, what I want to say is, if what you said thinking was true about their tyre pressures, they're on that hard tyre. That is their best chance at staying under control tyre temperature-wise. They'll have to go to the medium tyre eventually, which is going to be very, very difficult to manage because they're going to get hotter. That's the only way they're going to get. So it's not going to be easy. The weather is overcast, so the tyres or the track should be a little bit colder, which would help slightly. But yeah, it's not going to be easy, and it's only going to get more difficult on their second stint.
I mean, his tyres are going to melt. That's one way of putting it. You see, oh my days! Something's not right. It must be the pressures, man. There's no way Niffle would just randomly run a really aggressive sell like this. Because when I made my transition, I am progressive with it. So you need to be progressive with it. And I know Niffle isn't dumb. He's a very smart guy. So he's able to understand this. So I think we are correct. I think he just copied the time trial setup and forgot to change the pressures, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe.
And he goes again. Sorry, he snaps again, and he just can't keep it under control. Now Robbo's actually copped to Gilly and Ben. So I did say, what did I say? I said Robbo's catching, and if he keeps up like this, he's going to creep onto the back of them. He's not got too much DRS, but now he's in the DRS train, so Robbo has all the chances in the world now to get back up into that P4.
Robbo got that DRS on that last straight, and Benjamin makes a mistake, just trying to get out of the DRS range from Gilly, but if he doesn't, then they're going to be in a big old train, which is going to get very, very, very interesting, especially when we get towards the pit stop window. You should be seeing drivers pit around lap 70. Ooh, Robbo having a little bit of a moment. Lap 17 to about 19, maybe 20 if you really wanted to push it, but I don't think you would. You want to get on the medium tyre sooner rather than later, ideally. We're going to have a look at the tyre situation from everybody, just in case. Of course, there's the time penalties, 3 seconds and 6 seconds for Heisler. And that is the situation as it stands. Didn't realise, actually, this is Vale, is on a medium tyre. That could be a disadvantage, but they've got a 9-second gap. They have lost a little bit of time in recent laps. Still, a 9-second gap's probably enough, would you say, Zingy?
Well, I did say earlier on, it was in the medium time. I don't think he clocked it, though.
No, I didn't.
But, yeah, this is Vale. This is the end of his tyre life. He wants to pit, around about lap 14, maybe this lap, perhaps. So, I'm going to look at the leader. I'm going to do some quick maths here. Oh no, okay, right. The situation is, for this is Vale, he needs to pull a couple more seconds to Benjamin, because if not, he's going to be stuck in that horrific train. They're not going too slow, mind you, but new hard tyres compared to old ones, he is going to be much quicker, it's just facts. So, he really needs to push with that medium tyre for maybe 1 or 2 more laps, maybe just extend it, and then for him that'd be good to get out ahead of Benjamin. So he needs to put in a little bit more work. He needs to be doing very well this first stint. Don't take that away from him. But let's see what happens now. We know he's coming in this lap. This is Vale is coming in this lap. We need to look at what he does though. If he gets a good pit entry or not, that looks not too bad at all. And now we're going to look on board with Benjamin. They're coming through the last sector now. This is going to be vital for this is Vale's race and Cohen's possible redemption arc, really. Ben's coming through the last few corners now. I don't know if he's going to get it, you know. I don't think this is Vale's going to... He's going to the mediums! He's going to the mediums. What's he doing? This Theo has went onto the medium tyres, and Benjamin looks like he's going to jump him into turn 1 now. Benjamin's past him, Gilly's past him, Nichols past him. It's going to be a race between him and Robbo for P6, and he's done it. Robbo's done it. So Dennis Vale is doing the 2-stop, and plus has pit onto another set of mediums. What's that all about?
Very interesting. He's going to have to go very, very aggressive. The strategy is aggressive regardless, but now he has to make some risky moves if he wants to hold on to this win. He did have a 9-second buffer. He had to kind of consider, do I let Cohen catch up a little bit and risk it that way, although he did have a 3-second time penalty, or do I try and go for the undercut and get through these cars a little bit quicker? We'll have to wait and see. Like 14 old hard tyres compared to fresh mediums, he should be pretty quick. It's just whether he can find the room to make an overtake. He's so close now, he might even have a look into the hairpin. He is going to have a look into the hairpin. On the XE, should have the advantage as well. DRS will be available. It's slightly cancelled out, but not too much of a problem. He has a nice advantage. Robbo is further ahead, though. Has to still leave the space. He can't cut him off like that. He was still alongside. He will take that position. That is Vale getting a P6.
Yeah, it's a bit argy-bargy through there, but Vale manages to get up into P6. Now his next target is Niffle. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Vale's faster than Niffle. Of course, the circumstances mean that, he's hit the wall, and hopefully that's not damage for him. But Vale is faster than everyone by a mile. I mean, that's because of new tyres, of course, but coming onto the straight now, Niffle's got no battery. He's going to be depleting the battery. Vale into turn 1 now. Is he going to go for a move? Surely not. He does! On Niffle Janet into turn 1. Niffle's being forced off wide and coming back on track now. Vale is up into position 5. Vale's flying at the moment, and he's made the move up into P5. Now the two Ferraris are up next.
Two Ferraris are very close together, to be honest. Gilly is actually going to go for a move on Benjamin, so yeah, that's an interesting one. Going to switch around, which isn't going to help them. Here we go. Vale might have a look into the braking zone. He's going to go for the switcheroo. He will have a look. Ben had a little bit of a moment. There's contact on the exit. That is Vale making the position. Not quite the way you want to do it, though. That is an interesting way to make that work. Took such a aggressive and tight line on entry, which made it very, very difficult for him to turn. I am interested to see how that actually happened, because Ben's car spun after there was contact in the middle of the side pod. On the exit, though, Vale got such an advantage on that tyre. He's done. He's done. He's got the move done.
No, that was incredible. I don't know if you caught it, but Vale squeezed up right to the wall, nearly hitting it, for goodness sake. That was incredible. Gilly knowing where the car lies and just about squeezing them, but Vale has such an advantage that he's already at second head. He's
massive.
What?
Massive. He's got a lot of pace in that car. He's now got an 8-second gap between the car ahead, so he's got a nice amount of clean air. And by the time he does catch the Dave Raptors, if he does catch the Dave Raptors, the cars ahead will have pitted. So he's going to be good to go for now, and he should be able to maintain this lead. Will that extra pit stop, however, be enough? He's going to still have to put some pretty good qualifying lap times if he wants to win this race.
Well, remember, he's got about 2 or 3 laps before these guys pit on the old 15-lap old hards. Cohen's got that penalty, though, mind. However, Vale isn't looking too favourable either with that little incident with Ben. It didn't look too, from our perspective, too promising. However, I'm not going to comment too much on it now. It's 6.7 seconds the gap. Oh, man, this is... I'm actually loving this, 6 points force, 3, 2, 1. It reminds me of the French company, what was it, F1.5 as well? Who was gaining... like seconds a lap, was it? I can't remember.
I think yesterday we saw Jordi gaining a lot of time to the cars ahead, so maybe it's that, but F1.5, I think there was some sort of situation. I can't quite remember. But still, 5.3 seconds? What? That's absolutely incredible. Gilly leads the train now. They got Niffo behind them. Niffo can't really seem to find an opportunity. The car is very slidey on the rear. Almost, well, I think they did possibly get a warning from that as they lose the car on the exit. So Gilly has got a little bit of pressure to try and keep these guys behind. They don't have any time penalties. And of course, if Nifo can't find any traction, he can't go for a move. And then Robbo can't find the way through either. So that's going to be something to look at later on. A 39.7 and a pit stop for Nifo-Jan. He takes it a little bit early. He wants to make sure that he doesn't have to spend too long on those tyres. And to be honest, an undercut might not be a bad idea in usual circumstances. Now Robbo is released.
Yeah, Robbo's finally getting that chance to fight Gilly for P4 at the moment. Gilly, he's been looking quite good over the last few laps. Obviously having that move on Benjamin, and then Benjamin unfortunately having that incident. But Ben's gone for the undercut too, with Niffle following him in. Probably the smartest thing to do, really. He's going to be in the much faster tyre. Robbo, meanwhile, is going to be battling Gilly. So can Benjamin get back into the fight if these two squabble a bit? I believe so. He just needs to put in a very good couple of laps, and he could be back in the fray for some good points.
Yeah, for sure. Now, this is going to be an interesting one. He still has an 8/10 gap, so it's not exactly too easy at the moment. We'll have to see how it goes a little bit later on. Pit stops. Will we see these two pit? Will Robbo try and go for an undercut to clear Gilly a little bit easier? It might be a possible thing to consider. They do, of course, have Ben and Nifo-Jan trying to get some sort of advantage. That does seem to be JJ having a slight mistake on pit exit, but luckily they're still staying in this race. Now, 4/10 is the gap. He's looking pretty close. Zingy, would you want to go for an undercut, or are you going to try and get the move done on Gilly?
I would probably go for an undercut in this situation. Speaking of pit stops, Cohen's in the lane now. He's realised that this is catching up, and he's in DRS of Dave Raptors already, so he's basically made a pit stop up on the two medium tyres. He will be in a bit older medium tyres, but his pace suggests that no matter what tyre he's on, he seems to be absolutely flying. Cohen coming out the pit lane like the pops right now. That's a good stop by the Williams crew, and he's going to rejoin in a nice comfortable P5, nice clean air, so he won't have to worry for pressure behind. And now he just needs to really knuckle down, because this is Vale's. He's going for the lead, says he? Not at the moment. He's making Dave Raptors go defensive. Is he then going to go for the move into the slow left-hander? No, right-hander, sorry. He's not gonna, but he's gonna look for another move, maybe somewhere else, coming into the slow left, sorry. And he doesn't make the move at the moment. He's stuck behind Dave Raptors. He's probably raging. He's probably just quite annoyed that he just can't get past. I think raging is the correct word. So he needs to find a way past soon, otherwise this is going to jeopardise his race as Cohen gets another 3-second penalty. It's disastrous for him. This is his best chance to get back at this Vale, but he just can't seem to do it. Now, onto the straight now, before the slow right-hander. This is Vale, go to the the left-hand side, coming into the corner now, and he swoops right around the outside, and he makes him move into P1. Absolutely fantastic.
Amazing overtake around the outside. Loving these tyres. There's a bit of contact there. Dave Raptors on the wall, unfortunately. Now, there was probably a little bit of a communication. Hold this is Vale behind. It's the championship rival to Robbo, and he wants him to not have anything as possible. Like, even if Cohen wins the race instead of This Is Vale, that is a benefit for the Alpine team. He tried his best to hold him behind, but he's just a little bit too quick into the pit lane. Gilly will not go, as he tried to just fake it a little bit and see what Robbo would do. Robbo stays out anyway. This could be a very nice idea here for Gilly. Yeah, he could possibly gain a lot by just doing that one little fakey manoeuvre.
Oh, who's that in the wall? JJ. Unfortunately, a lap down. That's him not having the best races. But yeah, Gilly tried to do the little sneaky on Robbo, but he's not falling for that. He's not silly. And they're still battling for P3 at the moment, but Cohen, 8.6 behind. He's at, oh, he hits the wall there. He's pushing the limits so much. He knows that This Is Vale needs to make another pit stop, and he's already 2.5 ahead of Dave Raptor. So here's the situation, right? This is Vale, of course, going to go into the soft tyre. Without any safety cars, of course, that is. He's going to go into the soft tyre around about lap 25 or something like that. And he's going to emerge probably P2, because remember, these guys need to pit. And Cohen's his nearest rival, who is how many seconds behind? Let's
21.
just see. 21 seconds. So he'll be coming out a couple of seconds behind at this rate. However, if he can keep some good pace up, then maybe he'll be able to I can't remember the word. Sorry. He'll be able to just keep the time loss minimal. Let's just say that.
For sure, for sure. We'll have to see how it goes. Time will only tell, as that is a saying that I seem to have picked up. There will be a soft tyre stint for this is Vale. Will they overheat? That's the question. We'll have to check that one, of course, later on. But nothing you can do about it now. Dave Raptor's still staying out a little bit longer. Gilly into the pit lane. Robbo is going to take an opportunity to try and stay out ahead. Is that the right idea, Thingy?
Wait, what was the question? Staying out?
Robbo trying to stay out another lap over Gilly. Gilly, in theory, should be able to gain. Although, they might have lost a bit of time to Nifo, Jan and Ben, so they could be in a bit of trouble there, but there's a big gap between them, actually.
I'm not going to say silly is the right word, but I think Robbo is miscalculated this a little bit. The both Alpines have, because those medium tyres are going to heat up in about half a lap. This track is a real tyre warmer, that's for sure. So within half a lap, these guys are going to be faster than Robbo. And when he realises when he comes at the pits and he's going to be a bit far behind, he's going to be picking himself. Unless they're going for soft tyres, but will they catch up that, 6-second gap? In like, 5-6 laps? 1 second a lap, whilst the softs might actually overheat? I don't know. I don't know what the strategy is from the Alpine team, but it might work. It might work. We've seen Robbo with some wacky strategies before, and he's won races because of it, to be fair. So I'm not going to say it just yet. I'm guessing Dave Raptors is following that same philosophy.
Yeah, I think they have to do it. Well, I don't know though, because Gilly's just lost that position to Ben. Ben was about 4 seconds behind these guys before he pitted. He was quite a way behind. So that is a 4-second disadvantage that they now have. Yeah.
Yeah, Ben lost his back end coming into the bridge section once again. Gilly's got DRS on him. He's not going to go for the move, but Ben may be struggling a bit on those tyres. It's maybe he's pushing them a bit too much and has possibly overheated them a little bit.
As a pit stop for a car ahead, that is the Alpine of Robbo, so he's going to try and cover off Gilly. Maybe a little bit too late. He's going to drop behind Ben. He's going to have a lot of hard work to do. Nifojan is pretty far ahead, so even though we think he's got those issues with his setup, he's got a significant advantage. And beneficial for Cohen, he's now been released, got no problems here with Robbo. If Robbo stayed out, he would have probably had a little bit of a harder time. Now, here we go, Benjamin and Gilly. There's Ben right there. Robbo didn't get a bad lap in, and it's going to be a side-by-side situation. You watch on board with Gilly, no, Benjamin does manage to get ahead. He's going to have to spend a bit of time warming up these tyres, which won't be easy. Now, Gilly's tyres are warm. They're very, very fresh. He's going to get a phenomenal exit. He will challenge. He's going to use everything he possibly can. He will not. He's going to back off. He realised he wouldn't be able to make the move. He tries to spook Robbo a little bit. It kind of works. It kind of does work. Those tyres are so cold, but they'll warm up pretty quickly.
Yeah, Robbo emerging behind Benjamin, but on 4-lap fresher tyres, so maybe the strategy wasn't too bad. Safety car! There's a safety car out! Dave Raptors is on the hard tyre, 20 laps. I don't know what it's for, but now he's going to be able to pit, no consequences whatsoever, and he's going to come out in P3 on fresh tyres. This is Vale's also going to be loving this. This 2-stop has really worked out for him. And, oh my days. What's just happened there, eh?
Yeah, very, very interesting. Heartbreak for Cohen, because now obviously he's lost that position, but also that time penalty range is now going to close up massively. So he's absolutely hating this. Yeah, Alpine and Williams aren't really going to be too happy. Dave Raptors, of course, will be happy, but this is Vale is now going to be in the lead. They're on a hard tyre, though. They are on the hard tyre. I think what they might have to do here is get on that hard tyre. Do they have a gap to pit a second time? They have a gap to pit a second time, but only to catch up to Curran, and they are going to have to spend some time under the safety car. So it's not exactly going to be easy. Robbo staying out on the circuit. He's going to jump Curran. He doesn't need to pit, does he?
Owen, you said, oh god.
Yeah,
Sorry,
don't worry, Cohen's gone into the pit lane. Robbo stayed out. He's got that advantage. Gilly doesn't need to pit. Benjamin's taken the opportunity to go to the softs along with Nifojan. Might not be the worst idea. It's a bit of a interesting situation. I don't really know if Cohen needed to pit. Obviously, this is Vale's just gone onto that hard tyre, so he's going to have a disadvantage. Dave Raptors could very well be in the chance to win this race. He's on the the better tyre. He doesn't have any time penalties, so it's going to be equal right there. The safety car was caused by a little bit of a moment from JJ, unfortunately, on the bridge section just before the hairpin, basically. And that has really screwed his teammate over, to be honest. It's not what you want to see for him, but it's happened.
Yeah, I want to just say this quickly. I think it's a really bold, well, not bold, it's a really big statement about this. I think this is Vale has thrown this race. He's thrown it. He could have put onto the softs. Granted, they would have been a bit dead at the end. But under safety car, the softs actually don't wear it much around this track. From my personal experience, that might change for differing driver. But he's going to be on really slow, hard tyres. And we see at the start, 1 second a lap it can cause up to. Dave Raptors and Robbo are ready to pounce. These lot, well, they got a little JJ with no front line separating them, but I think he'll come into the pits. But as I was saying, these two are going to be right on him. Gilly's in a chance of a podium somehow after being, 30 seconds behind? So keeping consistent with no time penalties has really proved well for him. And now Cohen from P2, he's dropped to P5, he's got the time penalties. Some other people have seen the light, like Benjamin and Highstar, I should say. Those guys put onto the soft tire, they're going to be really quick for the first few laps, they're going to make a lot of positions. And then they're just going to have to defend. So I don't know what's really going to happen, but it's going to be an eventful end. Hopefully not a carnage-filled end, but hopefully a nice fair racing end.
Yeah, we'll see. Those soft tires are going to be nice and quick. Let's just, if you can find the grip, because moving to a soft tire, you get such an advantage that sometimes it's hard to find it. And then maybe you make a mistake, the tires heat up. Shouldn't be as bad because it's overcast. You shouldn't have that bad tyre temperatures. So that's a benefit. They could be in a very good situation. It's still, I know you said it's going to be under the safety car a little bit. It's still a fairly long way to go on a set of soft tyres regardless, any circuit pretty much. But you know, if you can manage it, you'll be good to go. If your setup allows it, you will be good to go. That's why, once again, I'm a little bit worried for Nifo, because those tyres are going to be steaming hot a little bit later on. We'll have to see. We're going to be going racing on probably lap 25 of this race. We're not going to be going in just yet, letting the other cars catch up. JJ, unfortunately, is lapped and then not going to be able to gain anything from this.
Sorry, Nifo almost losing the back end under safety car conditions. Man, I hope for his sake that he's going to keep it at the wall. But there's going to be one time where he snaps and he's just not going to be able to catch it. And hopefully Benjamin's not in the firing line of the very scary AlphaTauri when that happens.
Yeah.
F.
Yeah, that's true. That is very, very true. We've got Dave Raptors and Robbo, but they have a lapped car in between them. That is JJ, who I think he tried, unless it's a bug, he tried not to pit. It might just be a bug, but he hasn't got a front wing from what we can see. Very late call-in. We are going to be going racing. When will this Vale go for that restart? Not yet, not yet. He's still warming up those tyres. Everything he possibly can get temperature-wise. Really letting it go. Dave Raptors will get the advantage. Robbo had to wait for JJ. JJ moves out the way. And that is going to be a massive gap. Almost 3 wide. It is 3 wide. The Ferrari will get through side by side with Gilly and Cohen. Gilly goes off the circuit. Cohen's going to take the position. But Benjamin into P4 off the restart. Phenomenal job. That's Nifo trying to get in on this. Gibby now back in the fight right here. Can he do anything? I don't think so. He's going to have to wait for now. But that is Benjamin making absolute moves right there.
Yeah, Dave Raptor's already pressuring. This is Vale. Not making the move at the moment, but remember those tyres for this is Vale are going to be really bad. However, he's managing to keep a good pace, so maybe I was wrong. This is Vale already 5 tenths ahead of Dave Raptors. He needs to, I think he's trying to warm up his tyres maybe a bit still. They're maybe a bit cold. I mean, they are the hard tires after all, so they will take a bit to heal up after the safety car restart. But he looks to have good pace at the moment, coming through the Anderson Bridge now, and he's keeping the gap. And Robbo, I don't know what happened to him, and now he's lagging back. Robbo just lagged back there, and he's ghosted, and now he's lost 2 positions to Benjamin and Cohen. What's going on?
Not ideal, and yeah, that's all that hard work. A double podium looking possible for Alpine, now out the window. With lap 24 out of 31, it's going to be so difficult. I can't stress that enough to actually get any more. He will have a look at staying in P4, of course, because of that time penalty situation for Curran. He still needs to hope that he doesn't have any more issues, though, with these time penalty, not time penalties, lag issues, of course. So yeah, that's going to be something to look at later on. Dave Raptors, though, is still looking pretty close.
Yeah, Dave Raptors all over the back of this field. He managed to sort out his little lows in the little sector, and now he's going to be all over the back of him, coming through into the straight now. He doesn't get a good exit, and this is Vale's able to just keep composed and just drive away. So this is Vale doing everything he needs to at the moment. There's still 2.7 to Benjamin, who's on that soft tyre though. He needs to gain so much within these next 2 laps, otherwise Ben might not have a chance at a win here.
Yeah, doing a brilliant job so far. The top 3 are going to be very spicy, although the gap does extend a little bit. The cars behind have a pretty equal gap, so it's not really that easy to catch too much at this stage, but it is what it is for now. Time will tell. Mistakes can be made and tyres will wear. Lap 25 out of 31, 3 laps on that set of softs. He's absolutely rapid right now. He has a nice gap to Curran and he keeps extending it, but can he catch up to the cars ahead? 2.3 seconds is the gap at the moment. It's going to be pretty difficult. 9/10 is the gap between Curran and Robbo. Robbo, he's lost a lot of momentum after that lag issue. Maybe it's a bit of a domino effect there.
Yes, Dave Raptors hitting the wall coming into the last sector, and he seems to be struggling a bit. I don't know if he's lost a bit of his wing. It doesn't look like he has done. Maybe he's just not finding the pace on the medium tyre like he's anticipating. This is Vale is now 6/10s ahead. He's absolutely flying at the moment on the hard tyre. And there's an incident behind between Gibby and Heishel. Heishel's out, and it's a safety car. Safety car has been deployed again.
Safety car deployed. There's surely going to be some pit stops. This is Vale going to the pit lane though? Would he really want to do it? Dave Raptors probably won't pit, to be honest. I don't think there's a reason to. Benjamin will be able to save a bit of tyre wear, but that peak performance will then be gone by the time we go for a restart. That was a collision there between Heischer and Gibby. Little bit of contact on the rear. Heischer then went into the wall and lost his front wheel. Pretty self-explanatory. It's very unfortunate. Now, I don't know. Zingy, what would you do if you were this as Vale? What would you do if you were Dave, and what would you do if you're Benjamin?
Give me a moment. I think out of all these guys, I'm going to go back on my word and say this is Vale's in the best position. Ben's tyres might not have dropped off the cliff, but I don't think they're going to have the same performance as they did, say, 2 or 3 laps ago. And you can say that easily about any tyre, but the hard tyre's not going to lose much performance at all. The medium's not going to lose too much, but the soft, especially around the track, that's this demanding of tyres, it's tricky.
Yeah, fair enough. That's what it is for now. It's going to be a bit of a thinker. Not going to be easy to sort out. Now, this is Vale. What will he do? Warming up the tyres, slowing down maybe to catch the delta. He's not caught the safety car yet, of course, because they passed it already. So that does mean you are held up to a delta. Nifo and all the cars behind, they have pitted, and they would be able to gain a little bit from this, but not really too much. Weaving the tyres. He isn't going to go into the pit lane, and maybe Dave Raptors thought, you know what, I'm going to stay out. Maybe just got a little bit caught out there. This Vale was hoping that Dave Raptors was, I don't know, hoping that he went into the pit lane if he pitted, trying to follow on maybe, but that's weird, I don't know.
Who knows? I think maybe just try the double dummy, maybe. Could be that. I've got the telemetry on to see the driver's revs and that. I don't believe you do so, but I'm not saying that people are revving at their cars. And that horrible sound you hear is fuel burning. So whenever the drivers are behind the safety car and they're getting excess fuel, they usually put it into neutral, rev the car up to max rev, so it'll burn the fuel. That's why some people off safety car restarts can be better than others. Although this is Vale's on the hard tyre, I believe that during the safety car, he might have burnt a bit more fuel than other people, meaning that he was actually able to pull away, because a lap of fuel is usually 2/10 a lap. 2/10 a lap. But around the track like Singapore, it can be about 4. So, I think this is Vale has burned quite a bit of fuel, and basically, yeah, that's all I'm really need to say. Is I mean, he burnt a bit of fuel, and then he gained a bit of time because of it.
Yeah, you want a nice light car, and you can have that at the end of the race. It will almost be as light as time trial. I think it will be, and probably lighter as you get to the final couple of laps of the race. So that's going to be an interesting situation when you are under safety car conditions. It's harder to sort out that fuel situation. Now, this Vale doesn't really need to worry about tyre wear, so I think that's why he keeps warming up those tyres, because, you know, it's going to be so difficult to maintain temperature. So he doesn't need to worry about the wear, he just needs to worry about keeping the tyres up to temperature, whereas everybody else can do a bit more fuel burning. So he might have a slightly heavier car, but warm tyres is still possible. I don't know, it's so tough. Dave Raptors, however, he's got a lot of pressure, you know. He's got a lot of pressure to perform here. He can go for that win. It's in his hands, really, isn't it? He does have every advantage. I just don't know if it's going to be possible to do anything about it. Benjamin on that soft tyre. Zingy, are they the wrong tyre to be on at this stage? 6 laps?
I think wrong's the incorrect word to use. I think that Ben had a good idea. However, this safety car will actually help him because the soft tyres will wear it less. And it's going to be less laps to attack advantage. But it's going to come at the end of this lap no matter what. Wait, will it? No, sorry. It will come in either this lap or the next lap, guaranteed. So, Ben's going to have 2 free laps to attack these guys on okay soft tyres, I'd say. But he needs to get past them as soon as he can if he wants to keep any hope of a win.
Fair enough. That is the situation at the moment. We'll see if we're going into the pit lane or not. I know you said we probably won't, but JJ is catching. I don't think he's still a lapped car. I think he unlapped himself, didn't he? So he is going to be back in this race. It's being a lap down to now being back in the race. There's 10 cars on the circuit. A couple of them have time penalties. He does have a couple himself, unfortunately, but you can gain quite nicely. We'll have to see. We haven't got too many laps remaining of this race. He is going to catch up a little bit. I think we still might go in, and I think we're going to have a late call here.
You think we're going to have an early call? Well, maybe. Depends on how fast JJ can catch the pack. It depends if he can keep it on the track. Let's hope he can do so. I know he's a lap down, but he's still going to get some points. He's going to be ahead of Niffle because he is a higher tier driver, so he's going to get 2 points. So if he keeps it nice and smooth and out the wall for even just one more lap, I am sure that what lap would it be that the rule applies where if you DNF you get points? Do you know?
I'm not quite sure. It's 90%. 90%. What? I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. It might be lap 27 or 6, possibly. There you go. Yes. Safety car is in this lap. Lisisville once again go for the restart, and Dave Raptors will be sitting in P2. Who will win the Singapore Grand Prix, and when will Lisisville go for it? This is Vale still, once again, waiting. Now he's gone for it, and Cohen goes for the overtake very early on. That's not what you should be doing, to be honest. Benjamin has an issue on the exit. They lost the car, and a lot of time as well. That is Robbo swooping around the outside. That is Cohen having to give the position back to Benjamin. He has to give the position back, otherwise he's going to get a big penalty. That is a ghost car there of Oh, it is JJ, so he is a lap down, unfortunately, but that is an interesting situation. Dave Raptors now getting a fresh restart. He's nice and close once again. He gets himself a time penalty. It's not going to happen. Now, Robbo, if he catches up here to Dave Raptors, they might have to do a bit of a switcheroo.
Yeah, if Rob will catch up to Dave Raptors, it might do, it might not. I'm presuming not AlphaTauri, the Alpine team might decide unanimously that the best decision will be to swap the cars, because Dave Raptors, unless he can get past this Vale right now, I don't see a reason for him to stay ahead of Robbo, because Robbo's not got a penalty and he's got more chance of winning than this is not this Vale's. Cohen's out. Cohen crashes on the exit of the hairpin and he's already out of the race. So Cohen might not even score points at the end of it. It went from bad to worse after the first safety car, and it's not been a good weekend for him. So he's out of the race. But looking back up now, Dave Raptors is struggling a bit as he loses the back end and nearly loses it again. This tyre, he seems to just not be able to get any grip on it whatsoever. Maybe he's pushing a bit too hard off the penalty, losing a bit of rhythm, but he can't seem to do anything. Robbo isn't even quick enough to catch up to his own teammate, let alone this is Vale. Coming onto the penultimate lap now, and he's defending for his life. He knows how much this means for the championship. Dave Raptors is so close to him, but he can't do anything at the moment.
Just trying to find any kind of opening. That time penalty he has, he now has to kind of think, do I want to try and minimise the damage to the cars behind, or let my teammate catch up by fighting here? This is Vale now all of a sudden has a lot to lose, makes a bit of a mistake. Dave Raptors is going to have a look to the inside, goes defensive, doing a bit of a switch if he can, but no, it's not going to work. The exit was just a little bit too powerful. Dave Raptors is going to have to slide behind. We're on lap 30 out of 31. Is it even worth trying to go for a move? Or are you just going to have to try and consider losing minimal time? Because at the moment, he's going to lose possibly out to Benjamin, who might be able to get a podium here.
He's going a bit wide though. This feels going a bit wide, but he still manages to get the traction down somehow, and he's still able to keep ahead of Dave Raptors. Dave Raptors, and he just can't seem to find a way past, and he's not got any battery left. So that was his one real opportunity when this is Vale made a mistake, and he just now can't get past. The last sector is going to be crucial to determine who's going to win this Grand Prix. This is Vale. It's been flying throughout the whole race, really, and now he needs to just keep calm, and he's got one more lap to go. Dave Raptors hasn't really got the pace to keep up with him. Neither does Robbo, and Ben on those old tyres can't seem to do nothing either. So on to the last lap. This is Vale leads the Grand Prix, and he's defending for his life again into turn one.
DRS will be available, so this is going to be a perfect opportunity for Dave Raptors to be able to challenge for this win. Loses the car though, no ERS in that car compared to this is Vale. ERS is more powerful than DRS. It's not looking likely at this stage. Robbo is catching up as Dave Raptors pushes everything he possibly can. The DRS will give him a bit of an assistance. Robbo didn't get any DRS, so he'll be able to get a bit of advantage over his teammate Dave Raptors, but crucially for these guys, they want to just try and have some sort of advantage over the cars behind to try and secure that podium. Gilly getting back ahead of Gibby as they had a bit of a fight earlier on, just about staying ahead. They got to be careful, and that is this Vale though, still leading the way. We're going to go into the hairpin. He's not going to be close enough to have any kind of opportunity to overtake.
Oh, he makes a mistake!
Oh, no. Dave Raptors, it's not going to be enough. He's got no energy left. No energy left. Will he be able to find the grip? Doesn't look like it. There's going to be pretty much no space to go for a move. This is Vale. Don't risk anything, and they will win this race. Robbo, he's not going to be anywhere near to be able to challenge. He has surely got this one secured. He comes around the final few corners. Dave Raptors is hot on his tail. He does not need to worry. This is Vale has led from the beginning, and he's going to win the Singapore Grand Prix. Absolutely incredible, and his fourth win this season. Dave Raptors is going to take a P3 as Robbo will get that P2. Benjamin gets the P4. Nippo, Rexty, Gilly will get that position over Rexty. No, they won't actually. He doesn't doesn't have enough of a gap there. He does
He does.
actually. And then Gibby will take that position over Rexty as well. JJ finishing off the grid.
I don't know what to say. That was an incredible race, and it went right down to the wire. But this is Vale with the really weird strategy, managed to keep the lead, and he won. That was incredible. Likes the flag victory. That is one of a kind from This is Vale.
Singapore, one of the arguably most prestigious races because it's so tough, and he's won it. So really well done. This is Vale takes the win. Robbo in P2. Then we got Dave Raptors taking a P3. Benjamin, Nifo, Gilly, Gibby, Rexty, JJ, Curran will be classed as finished. Then we have Heischler and Larlock retiring earlier on. That is the race director, just in case we need to check it later on. It's a very tricky circuit with track limits, so we might need a look. Pit stops, of course, as always. And then we'll be back for the post-race interviews. We'll see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome back to LSI F1.5 EU Championships. We're today for the post-race interviews of the Singapore Grand Prix. Nifajan, strategy, very tough, very tough regardless. You had a couple of issues, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I mean, I had wing damage from lap 4 basically, just because well, it was completely my own fault. Just clipped the wall, had yellow wing, and then, well, on this circuit it's pretty impossible to keep up even if you're faster with the broken wings. So I had some troubles there. It caused my rear to slide a lot, caused me more tire wear. It was just spiraling down basically. And I got pushed wide, had to give back 2 positions. That was very nice. Yeah, for that moment it was just about surviving till the next pit stop. The next pit stop comes, just go on the mediums. And it was all well until like maybe 3 laps after that I broke it again. So that was good, because I was overconfident. And then there was a safety car not long after that. So I tried to go on the softs. Got on the softs, and then the restart came, and then for some reason we're standing still in a corner while the other cars are in turn 1, which was great. I'm going 60 kph, and I still hit somebody, break my rear. I think it was Cohen, and I broke my front wing. It was just great. I just don't understand how we're standing still in that corner while the other cars are having a picnic at the other side of the circuit. But yeah, that was very great. Had to sit back again with a broken wing. Then, not long after, another safety car came. I could pit on new mediums because I didn't have any softs left, so I had to go on mediums. And then I fixed my wing, and then I just almost get brake checked again in the middle of the safety car, which I don't understand why people were just braking in random places again on the safety car, but at least I avoided it by like a millimeter off the back of Gillies. That was fine. And then yeah, during the restart, it was just Ben and Robbo fighting quite hard. So I had to leave that battle, so I couldn't really overtake Ben without losing a massive amount of time. And then there was a ghost car causing some difficulties for us both as well. So yeah, it was interesting to say the least. But I was tired as well. It was never going to be a good race, but I think a lot of things happened out of my control today, that in the later part of the race at least, which were controversial.
I guess can't really be disappointed with you can't be disappointed with yourself too much, because obviously the situation wasn't exactly easy. We'll have to look into that a little bit later on, so I do apologise for all the issues. Your home race, next race, do you think you can get an advantage from the home crowd, possibly?
I mean, it always has been quite a good track for me. If I don't have an unbelievably busy week like this, and just some proper rest, I guess, maybe not as much safety car shenanigans, I think it will be a good one. So let's see.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And one last question: how would you describe your race in 3 words?
Where's my wing?
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you.
And we move on to Benjamin. Ben, that was a very crazy race. Unfortunately, just in the end, you missed out on the podium. Do you think you could have maybe got that P3 soft tyre, not the tyre to go for?
Yeah, it was kind of dead, but in the early part it got me fine. If the next safety car didn't come out, I would have been fine. It's one of them.
Yeah. Pretty unlucky with the safety cars, maybe then.
Yeah, well, I got a good start from one of the safety cars because they decided they wanted to not move when it went green flag, so that was awesome. So I got that straight to P4 or something. Started working my way through and making a gap. I didn't have much practice, but my practice was qualifying, so yeah, I mean, I don't expect much after that, but start of the race, I had contacts with bloody Robbo all the time, and then Vale murdered me, and then carried on the race. I think got in front of Robbo for the pit stops, having like dead mediums, basically sacrificing them to get back in front, and then safety car, softs, doodling along, looking for a P3, I think, alright.
Yeah.
And then last bit I didn't have much grip, and then it didn't help that I had JJ's 2 minute behind car in my face for about 3/4 of the track or whatever. So then after that I was well out of the view, and following people is a lot easier and no tyres and like a skill. So yeah, one of them.
Yeah, maybe disappointing, but I guess according to the situation, you can't really be too disappointed with a nice chunk of points. So, still an advantage. Netherlands, that's got some banked corners. Do you like it there?
Like Niffo says, it's a rubbish track. I mean, there's plenty of good alternatives to that
Fair enough.
abomination. So yeah, we'll deal with it.
I like the optimism. Thank you very much. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
There will have to be censored, so I'm gonna say no.
Fair enough, fair enough. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. And we move on to Heisler. That was a very, very tough one. Unfortunately, it didn't quite end the way you wanted it to. Out of your control there.
Yeah. This is probably... I know I have a lot of worse races now, bad races now in LSI, but this is probably one of my worst. And I wanna apologize, of course, to Larlak, who I took out, and as well Gibby, that I spun.
Right.
But ignoring all of that, I was quite happy actually with my pace. I was at some point I saw that I was actually faster than Niffo, and then I think nearly everyone except Phil, because Phil was on another level today. So yeah, it could have been fun, but fucked it up myself.
Yeah, it's a shame, but moving on, I guess, to the next one. Another home race for you. I say another home race, I meant another driver having their home race. Are you excited for that one?
Yeah, different to Ben and Niffo, I actually quite enjoyed driving that track. Even though it's quite hard to race at it, I found it, if you get in the flow, I found it a quite fun track to drive, so I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome, awesome. I hope it goes well. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
My worst race.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you.
And we make sure we get Gilly into the interviews, of course. Gilly, that was an eventful one. You had a couple switch-ups, nice overtakes. Unfortunately, at the end, after the safety car restart, you got caught up in a couple of battles, which made it quite difficult to get back to where you were. Are you a little bit disappointed with that one?
I hated every minute of it.
Can you take us through it?
I thought I was looking quite good at the final restart on some softs, but yeah, that's all I want to say.
Fair enough. I'm trying not to forget it already. Still, great while it was good. It was a very, very nice battle that you gave us early on into the race, so thank you very much for that. The Netherlands, I guess you're just going to say yes. Do you prefer that circuit over Singapore?
I swear you said Spain earlier.
Did I say Spain? It's the Netherlands anyway.
I don't know, I heard Spain.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, much better.
Like the Netherlands, awesome. Well, hopefully it goes a little bit better. Unfortunately, the podium streak is over, but I'm sure you can still get back up there. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Very, very, very forgettable.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you.
And we move on to Cohen. Cohen, that was so disappointing. Another very, very frustrating race. Brilliant qualifying. Unfortunately, the start didn't really go to plan. And then, yeah, the more safety cars came out, the more difficult it seemed to be.
Yeah, the qualifying was actually quite fine. I was pretty happy with my lap because I only did 2 because of the PC issue I had. But yeah, the start didn't go well as well because I didn't like the lights went out very fast, so I was very surprised by that. And yeah, Phil was of course very quick. He was way quicker than me, so I would have been second anyway, but maybe with his Ferrari strategy, I could have won if I didn't get the 6 seconds time penalty, and yeah, some other weird stuff. I don't really know. I think I'm on the same page with Gijs because it's my worst race, I think, in LSI.
Yeah, not ideal. I mean, Singapore's very, very difficult to master, so shouldn't be just too disappointed. The track is unforgiving.
No, it's-
Unfortunately, some people do get more of a disadvantage than others. Home GP, though, is next. I think
Yep.
you're pretty excited for that one, right?
Yeah, that's the track where I won my first race in the last lap, thanks to
Yeah.
Nico. But yeah, I'm excited for that one because I like the track. I think it's a great track, and we go onward from there on, I think.
Yeah. And it's also very difficult to get a time penalty there, so
Yeah, that's very nice as well.
that'll definitely help. Really well done today. It's a shame it didn't go to plan, but only upwards from here. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Very, very unlucky.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. And we move on to today's race winner. This is Vale's done it again, the 4th time this season. That was absolutely insane. Are you happy with that one?
Yeah, I'm certainly happy, but I'm really. Oh, my heart's still beating a lot, actually. Especially for the last 10 laps after the safety car. I had to switch to hards and had to end with the hards, actually. I didn't switch to softs because we had 10 laps, so I think that soft wouldn't get actually enough for the end of the race, so I should get the hards and race till the end.
Yeah.
I know that I will get lower pace, but since it is a Singapore, so I just kept on my my defending skills and
Yeah.
kept up with that. Yeah, and actually, thanks to you, I switched to 2 stops. Actually, I was listening your stream during the qualifying, and you said that it's only 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And when I get P2, I said, oh, I think I had to try something else. So I just decided to switch to 2 pit stop. And it was going very fine until lap 21.
Yeah, the safety cars did make it very, very difficult. Did you not consider going on to a set of softs on that final safety car? Because we were a little bit later then. You had track position, so I guess it wasn't really appealing.
Yeah, I know, but after safety car leaves the track, it would only be 3 laps. So in 3 laps, I wouldn't actually pass 5 or 6 guys and finish in P1, because if I had pit, then I would return in P6 or P7, as far as I remember. So I couldn't actually pass 6 people in Singapore in 3 laps, of course. So I said that, okay, let's keep the track position, and kept on with that. So yeah, it went fine. Actually, I think that second pit stop helped me because softs just their peak level, ended. So they are not very fast at the end, like Benjamin and the other guys. So it helped me actually, this safety car.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I know that I can hold Dave in my back, because I had so much ERS than him.
Yeah.
That's why, and I saw that from the stream, and I said, okay, just keep the ERS, then we will be fine.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, only 3 laps to just distribute an entire battery. So, yeah, it's not too bad. Really well done and very, very well played. The blessing in disguise, maybe, for the last safety car there. But, yeah, the Netherlands.
But there was the incident with Benjamin, actually. I'm sorry for him. I actually didn't actually intend to do that, but I don't know. Maybe the game actually direct so much because the touch isn't that hard actually. But his car was just fun. I don't know why, because I hadn't actually hit him very fast, but I don't
Yeah.
know. It was my mistake. I know that it was my mistake.
Yeah, it was
But
an interesting spin because it was on the side pod, so I am surprised that it spun in that way,
Yeah.
but very unfortunate, I guess, that it had to happen like that. Just trying to push that aside, the Netherlands, do you think you can try and make it a 5th win this season?
Maybe, but it's up to Cohen actually. It's his home track, as far as I know. So he will be quick, I assume.
Fair
So
enough, fair enough.
we will see.
Yeah, for sure. I hope the good momentum is carrying on with you. Really well done today, very well deserved. And one last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
I am sorry, Benjamin.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
See you, bye bye.
And that's been it from me. I'll pass you over to Zingy.
Well, I never knew that was an inspiration for strategy, but there you are. Join us next time on Friday, 8 p.m. for LSI in the Netherlands, and join us at 8 p.m. on Saturday for the Netherlands in F1.5, where hopefully we get more intense battles as we've seen today, which was really enjoyable to watch. But anyway, that's been it from us, and we'll see you later. Goodbye.